creative friends. A couple weeks ago, I talked to you about cutting card bases out of your cardstock when you receive it. Just take 2 pieces of cardstock and cut 4 card bases, and you'll be ready to craft whenever the spirit moves you. I also talked about opening up your DSP when you receive it. That way, and then looking at it, and that way your creativity will work while you are thinking of other things. And so you'll be more inclined to use it if you open up your design paper. Well, I'm in my quest for trying to become a little more organized. I have started taking my stamp sets when I receive them and do all the stamps and do all the die cuts. But with this one, Hooray for Surprises, I thought, what was Stampin'Up thinking? I don't know how to use these things. What was their intent? So I finally found a tutorial, and I'm going to share with you today this card. I made this one for my son. He has a Valentine's Day birthday. Isn't that great? We just party almost all week. And he's going to be turning 40 this year, so my baby's growing up. But I used Hooray for Surprises on his card, and then I also used the heartfelt hexagons. The heartfelt hexagons has great sentiments. It has a punch that goes with it, but they had this one that I loved. Let's eat cake. Where's the cake? And that's the main reason I purchased this stamp set, because they have a cake. So we're going to take the mystery out of Hooray for Surprises, and I'll show you how to create this card today. Hi, my name is Kate Jett. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin'Up, and here is my website. You can shop with me 24/7 at kjut.stampinup.net. Here's my email. We have a Facebook group, K's Creative Arts. And then here's our host code for any orders under $150 that are placed during the month of February. Don't forget, during February is a great time to join Stampin'Up because they've got a terrific joining program right now, because you can get this wonderful glass mat completely free. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to cut out 2 pieces of cardstock. One white and one sweet sorbet. And we're going to, these are cut at 8.5 by 5.5. They're both scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to inset the white into the red. And then we're going to do some die cutting. I want to make sure both score lines are matched up. And then this card, I must be on a roll on these landscape cards. Again, the fold will go up at the top. And that way I was able to place this pull tab up on the card without going off the edge. I'm going to use a little Post-it note tape to hold it in place. We're celebrating Valentine's Day, so we'll use the Valentine's Day stamp or die. We'll use the Valentine's Day stamp too. And then it's also his birthday, so I need one more punch-out die here. And I'm going to run it through the die cutting machine. And remember, I have both layers here. And this is our dampen, cut, and emboss machine. And I used to use a different die cutter, but then I ran into troubles when I was doing the 3D embossing, and so I decided to bite the bullet and invest in one. Whoop, I put the other plate on top. We're going to use this again in a little bit. And then carefully peel off your tape. If any of the cardstock comes off with it, that's a great spot for an embellishment. And we had to do both layers so that I would know where to put my stamps on the white sheet. Because what happens is, I can't show you the inside of this because it's his birthday card. If I pulled everything out, all his fun would be over. So I had to make sure the stamping that I did beneath these layers lined up with the opening. So that's why I ran both pieces through the stamp cut and emboss machine. And now I'm ready to stamp. I'm going to use Daffodil Delight, Pool Party, and Sweet Sorbet, as well as the Memento Black. And we're going to start with the white sheet. And so I'm going to use my Sweet Sorbet to stamp a heart on the white sheet. And I will want to use my Stampin' Pierce mat, since these are photopolymer sets. And I will line up my stamp with the punch area. There. And then I've got a sentiment to put under this label, or this tear strip, and I'm going to use Pool Party for that. And I have You Are Simply Amazing. Because he is. Okay. Then when I open the card, I put his birthday cake with the Let's Eat Cake label. And so you can see I went ahead and cut out this opening. Because I want that stamp to go clear to the back of the card. And so I use my little snips to make sure I can get a nice clean opening here. And it'll be an extra surprise for him because he won't realize that that stamp is actually clear in the back of the card. Okay. On the front of the card, I'm going to use my Memento Black. And I have to find it here. Here it is. We're going to put Sending Lots of Love on the heart. And because this is Sweet Sorbet, it's a lighter colored red, so the black really shows up nicely. And then, I'm going to do I Hope Your Birthday is Wonderful on the circle. And then there's a little label that says pull. So I have to put that on all these tabs. Now my son-in-law hates cards like these. He just likes the simple, open them up straight, and we're good to go. He doesn't mind if they're decorated, but he hates fun folds. He's just no fun. Okay. Also on the front, I'm going to add some hearts. And this is the heart that comes with the Hooray for Surprises set. I'm going to do those Sweet Sorbet on the Sweet Sorbet cardstock. So it's tone on tone. I'm going to put one in each of these little round spots. And so notice when we stamp straight up and straight down. There's no rocking of the stamp. And if you get a little overflow on some of your stamps, that's a great spot to put a rhinestone or a pearl. Stampin' Up! Has plenty of those. So there are no mistakes, only design opportunities. That's what we say when we're tatting and mess up the pattern. Oh, you have a design opportunity. Okay, from the B set, I'm going to use, I forgot to tell you, yes, we're using some of the B hearts as well from the B Mine set. And I just put both of them on the stamp, and I'm just going to stamp them here and there. Again, tone on tone with the red Sweet Sorbet. At a spot where the paper peeled off there from the tape, so great spot to put a stamp. There. Okay. We'll add some embellishments to this after a bit, but I think the front is done. The back of this sheet, I want to put a piece of white and you know, I don't think I cut that one, so you get to see me cut as well. I want to put a piece of white to make the back of this piece look a little neater when I open it up. And so I need to cut this at, let me find it here, 3 3/16, which is I'm sorry, 3 and 13/16. So 3/4, let me get this up here. 3 3/4 is up here at this large line. 3/4 is 12/16. So I just want to move one little bitty line beyond the 3 3/4. And I'm going to cut that 3 and 13/16. And I'm going to cut the width at 5 1/2. So it'd be the same width as the card. Also on this white piece, because it folds inside the red, it has a tendency to stick out, as you can see. So I'm going to just trim off about 3/16 off of each of the edges. Oh, I'm going to close that for you. And again, 3/16. When you're cutting, this is your 1/8 mark. Let me get it up here so you can see. This line is your 1/8 mark. So 1/8 is 2/16. So we want to move to the next little bitty line for 3/16. That gives us about 1/8 of an inch reveal. Plus, it takes off some of that excess card. So I'm going to trim off 3/16 off of both sides. There. And then this piece will go behind here. I'll take my Tombow glue. And I want to make sure I get all the way around these. Get going here first. These openings, as well as down the middle, because I want it to be sealed there as well. Same way with the heart. And then down around all the sides. I'm going to go around the edge of the circle as well. And this lines up with both edges. And that'll help keep those in place. Let me get my bone folder here. There. Now, since I glued the backing on to make the backside look neat, I have another place that I need to cut out, which is right here underneath the circle. So I need to grab the circle die again. And I want to line it up with the original cut if I can. Tape it down with some Post-it note tape. And get my stamp cut and emboss machine and my plates. And we always want to use the number 1 plate and the number 2 plate, which is your die adapter. One of the number 3 plates, and this one's the messy number 3 plate. Then I put my card down and cover it up with a neater looking number 3 plate. And that's our die cutting sandwich. And then all we have to do is crank it through. We'll get this back out of the way. Okay. And then I'll take my scissors and cut off the second circle so we have a nice opening. There. That looks pretty good. And then we will burnish this again. So I want my cake to line up in this circle. If I put all the cake pieces on the same block, there's a separation in between the stamps. Now I could trim my stamps, I suppose, but I'm going to do them one at a time. Here's the cake flame, and I'm going to do that in the Daffodil Delight. And I want it down, about 1/8 of an inch from the top of that circle. So I'm done with the Daffodil Delight. I want to do the candle in the pool party. The candle has a wick, so I want to make sure I get that wick as close as I can to the Daffodil Delight flame. Perfect. And then we're ready for the cake. And I did the cake in red, or in the sweet sorbet again. And I want that candle to be on top of my cake. Perfect. Well, I have the red out. Let me go ahead and put in Let's Eat Cake. And that'll be hidden behind the rest of the card. So you won't even know what it says, let's eat cake, until you actually open up the card. Okay, now we're ready to glue these two together. So I'm going to glue on the red, but remember we trimmed off some of this, so when this lines up underneath, you are going to have about at least 1/8 of an inch reveal. So I don't want to get my glue too far down on the red cardstock. I also do not want to glue on these pieces that have to come up. But I do want to glue on each side of them. Okay. And then remember, I want this fold to be right up against the red card fold, as close as I can possibly get it. And the edges are going to match up. It looks like I need to do a little trimming. Okay. So I embellished with these wonderful hearts and flowers embellishments that come in the Be Mine suite. And so let me get my Take Your Pick tool. I basically used the little yellow heart down here, or Daffodil Delight heart down here at the bottom of the Valentine opening. A little pool party heart at the bottom of the birthday opening. There. And then I used a large yellow heart more up on the card. And then over here, I have a smudge here, so that's an ideal spot to put a flower. So I'm going to do a large blue flower there. I want to move it over here. There we go. Perfect. Hid that mistake. And then I can do red, sweet sorbet heart. Have a blue flower. Let's do a yellow heart to bring in the Daffodil Delight. And our card is finished. So hopefully everything lines up great. And I'm going to show you how this works. So this says pull. We pull. And this says pull. We pull. And everything's perforated so it comes right off. I can see my You Are Simply Amazing, as well as the heart. And then when we pull this one off, because it says to, we see our cake. But then when we open it up, we see more than just the cake. We see Let's Eat Cake. I'm all for that. Hope you enjoyed this card. Hope you give it a try, and hope I've taken away some of the mystery about this Hooray for Surprises, because it is a surprising card once you get it all put together, and you can amaze your friends when you give it to them. Bye now. Be creative every day.